Hello and welcome. Let's talk about something important. I'm Susan. I've spent years planning cruises and seeing how the system really works. And I need to tell you something the booking systems won't. If you're 60 or older, the cabin selection process is working against you. Not because you're doing anything wrong, because the system is designed for speed, for volume, and for passengers who can adapt easily to noise, long walks, and disrupted sleep. You've probably researched deck plans, compared prices, read reviews. That diligence, that patience you bring to planning actually makes you vulnerable to problems that don't show up in photographs or pricing charts. Here's what I've seen happen. Experienced travelers book what looks like a good cabin. They board. And within 48 hours, they realize they cannot sleep. They cannot move comfortably through the ship. And they cannot change rooms. The damage is done before they understand what went wrong. This video covers 10 cabin situations I see repeatedly with older travelers. Situations that destroy sleep, limit mobility, and steal the dignity you've earned. These are not luxury issues. They are location issues, design issues, and information gaps that the booking system does not explain. By the end of this, you will know exactly what to look for, what to avoid, and how to protect yourself before you pay. This is not about being difficult. This is about traveling with control and confidence. Let's start with number 10. Number 10, the disembarkation traffic jam. Your last morning should be calm. Time to pack deliberately, check medications, make sure nothing is forgotten. But if your cabin is on deck 4 or 5 near the midship lobby, you will not get that morning. The gangway is typically on these decks. Starting at 6 a.m., thousands of passengers queue directly outside your door. Suitcases scrape tile, children run, announcements echo. Crew members shout instructions. It is unrelenting, and it destroys any chance of a peaceful departure. For travelers who need extra time, who cannot be rushed through the final checklist, this chaos is more than annoying. It creates stress when you need calm. You deserve a controlled exit, not a forced sprint to keep up with the crowd. When reviewing deck plans, avoid cabins near the main lobby or atrium on decks 4 and 5. Mark them as no-go zones. In a moment, I'll show you a cabin location that sabotages every single morning of your trip, not just the last one. Number 9. The elevator hike. Reality. Modern cruise ships are over 1,000 feet long. Until you walk that distance 3 times a day, it is impossible to grasp what it means. If your cabin is forward and the dining room is aft, you are facing a 15-minute walk each direction. For travelers managing knee pain, hip issues, or limited stamina, this is not inconvenient. It is disabling. You start skipping meals. You avoid evening shows. Your world shrinks to the hallway outside your door because leaving hurts. This is not frailty. This is poor planning on a system that does not account for your reality. Cabin location determines how much of the ship you can access without pain. Before booking, identify where the main dining room, theater, and pool are located. Choose a cabin within a 5-minute walk. Mobility is freedom. Distance is a thief. Here's the pattern I need you to see. Many cabin problems are invisible in brochures, but brutal in daily life. The booking system will not warn you. It is built for efficiency, not for your experience. Number 8. The promenade fishbowl effect. You book a cabin with a window, excited for light and air. Then you board and discover your cabin faces the promenade, a public walkway that wraps around the ship. Passengers can look directly into your room at any hour. So, you keep the curtains closed all week. You paid for a window. You got a prison. For travelers who value privacy, who do not want strangers peering in while they rest or change, this is not a minor issue. It is a violation of the space you expected. Some cruise lines market these cabins as affordable upgrades without disclosing the public access problem. Before booking, verify whether your cabin is on a deck with exterior walkways. If the deck name includes promenade or boardwalk, proceed with extreme caution. Next, I'll show you a design flaw that turns you into an involuntary roommate. Number 7. The connecting door loophole. You assume a locked door is a wall. It is not. Connecting cabins have thinner soundproofing. Even when locked, sound travels through the frame. You hear your neighbor's television, conversations, even medical devices like CPAP machines. One traveler reported hearing a suitcase zipper. For travelers who need uninterrupted sleep, this is devastating. You cannot control your neighbors or move rooms once on board. When booking, ask if your cabin has a connecting door. If it does, request a different cabin. This is you protecting your rest, not being picky. Prevention is everything. In a moment, I'll explain the cabin that wakes you at 4 a.m. Number 6. The anchor drop shock. Seniors often book lower deck forward cabins to minimize motion sickness. The logic is sound: less sway, more stability. But these cabins sit near the anchor chain. When the ship docks at 4 a.m., the anchor deploys without warning. The sound is described as a steel barrel on a steel floor. The vibration travels through the hull into your walls and bed. It is violent and impossible to sleep through. For travelers who wake easily, this repeated shock is devastating. You spend each day exhausted. The anchor issue is structural. All that steel transfers vibrations directly into your room. Avoid lower forward decks, particularly decks 2 through 4. Next, the blank spaces that hide your worst nightmare. Number 5. The white space void. You review the deck plan and notice blank spaces next to your cabin, areas with no room numbers. You assume these are empty. They are not. These are crew work areas: pantries, ice machines, service elevators, linen closets. Doors slam and machinery hums 24 hours a day against your wall. For travelers who need consistent sleep to manage medications and mental clarity, this is a health issue. You wake multiple times. You become irritable by midday. Look carefully at areas surrounding your cabin. If you see unmarked white space, assume it is noise. Cruise lines design deck plans for operational flow, not your sleep. Coming up, the cabin that wakes you at 5 a.m. Number 4. The chair drag alarm clock. Cabins below the pool deck seem ideal, close to food, activities, sunshine. But every morning at 5, the crew drags hundreds of metal chairs across the floor above you. The sound is screeching metal on metal through your ceiling. For travelers who need 7 to 8 hours of sleep, this is catastrophic. You cannot fall back asleep. You spend the day fatigued. This happens every morning. Identify which deck is the pool deck, then avoid the deck beneath it. This is you protecting your health. Next, the upgrade trap. Number 3. The upgrade algorithm trap. Weeks before sailing, you receive an email offering a bidding upgrade, a mini suite, a balcony with premium amenities. It sounds like good fortune. Here's what they don't tell you. The upgrade is often in a worse location: under the gym, near the nightclub, far from elevators. The original booker rejected it. Once you accept, you cannot revert. For travelers who researched a quiet location, This is devastating. You thought you were rewarded. Instead, you traded comfort for a title. Do not accept upgrade bids unless you confirm the exact cabin number and verify its location. Comfort is more valuable than prestige. Number 2. The end-of-haul service gap. Cabin stewards manage 15 to 20 rooms per shift. If your cabin is at the hallway's end, far from the service elevator, you are last to be serviced. Your cabin gets cleaned late. If you need ice, towels, or assistance, it takes twice as long. For travelers who rely on timely service for medications or mobility needs, this delay affects your routine and security. Choose cabins near midship elevators, not at hallway ends. These problems are invisible until you board. That is why planning matters. Now, the number 1 mistake. Number 1. The guarantee gamble. To save money, many book a guarantee fare. The cruise line assigns your cabin later. You lock in a discount and trust them. Here's the reality. Leftover inventory consists of cabins rejected by others due to flaws, noise, or vibrations. You save $100, but risk a cabin you cannot escape. For travelers who need predictable environments, this gamble is not worth it. You deserve to know where you will sleep. Always book a specific cabin number. Review the deck plan and confirm there are no white spaces, connecting doors, or traffic zones. This is preparation, not being difficult. But there's one more situation. Bonus fact: the motion sickness physics trap. Higher decks and forward cabins offer better views. Promotional photos show stunning vistas from Deck 16. What they don't explain is the physics. A ship acts like a lever. The higher and more forward you are, the more sway you experience. A penthouse on Deck 16 forward might look luxurious, but in rough seas, it experiences aggressive motion. For travelers prone to vertigo or balance issues, this makes the cabin uninhabitable. You paid premium prices for a room you cannot stay in. The front pitches far more than the center. The safest location is midship on decks 6 through 9. This is about choosing physics that work with your body. The cruise line profits from the penthouse. They do not profit when you ask why it makes you sick. Comfort planning is not indulgent. It is self-respect and control. The 11 situations we covered fall into 4 areas: noise and vibration, service gaps, privacy violations, and booking traps. Every one can be avoided if you know what to look for. For travelers over 60, a cruise should restore you, not exhaust you. Sleep, mobility, and dignity are essentials. Plan your cabin with the same care you plan your itinerary. You have earned the right to travel on your terms.